Welcome to another training video on the Point of Sale Pro Management System. In this training video, we are going to be reviewing setting up menu buttons. And when I refer to menu buttons, if I go to the sales screen up here, these are the menu buttons that I'm referring to that can all be programmed. You can have 40 buttons per menu, and you can have up to 1,000 menus, so that's 40,000 buttons that can be programmed on here. So let's exit out of here and we'll get started way into it. So now if I go to Management Utilities and come down here to Menu Button Maintenance, here you'll see all the buttons, and now you'll see a number that corresponds with which button number this is. If I wanted to edit this Reprint Last Invoice button, number 5, I simply click on it. I could type in a new caption. I could change the text color. Let's change the text color to white. We'll change the back color to something darker, orange. And update. Now this button is orange with white lettering. So we're going to go through a couple scenarios here, but let's first, I'm going to set up a item that we're going to call a hamburger, and then I'm going to set up another menu so that when I click on that hamburger, it takes me to my condiments menu. So the first thing I need to do, if I click on this drop down here where it says select menu, the only menu I have is this first one. So I'm going to come down here and say add a menu. And the menu description is just going to be for our reference. I'll put condiments in here. And if I click here, now I'm on my condiments menu. And I'm going to go back to the main menu. And I'll show you why I did that first to begin with. But let's just select button number 0 up here. So we're on this Reprint Last Invoice. I could click anywhere here. If the background is hidden as I click on here, it won't do anything. I have to actually click on the number. So for the caption of this, I'm just going to put in that it's a hamburger. And the type in this case, there's 3 options. SKU would be, if I just want to sell this hamburger, I could put in the caption as hamburger. Type is a SKU. I would come down here for the SKU. I could enter what the item number is for it. I could add an item. I could do a SKU lookup and find the hamburger in my list. And then just select that and then assign a text color and a back color, and it would be all set. In this case, we're going to want to create a hamburger that is not only a SKU and a menu. And the reason for that is because when I select the SKU, then I'm going to want it to take me to my condiments menu. So in this case, it's going to be both. If I just wanted a button that said just go to condiments, then I would just say that it's a menu. And I'm going to do both. Now when I select this hamburger, it's going to pull up the hamburger on my sales screen and then take me to a menu where I can select my condiments. So I'll leave the text color black, but I have a variety of colors here that I can put for the text color. I can come down here and I could actually assign a picture to this item. When I click on this field, picture lookup pops up. And if I go to my pictures here, I could come down here and probably find a hamburger in here somewhere. Hamburger. If I wanted that picture, I can actually take real pictures and have real pictures of items. Well, here's what looks like a real picture of a hoagie. I'm not going to select a picture. We can always add a picture later. I want the back color to be purple. And then I need to select the menu that's going to go to. So when I click here, I'm going to go to menu lookup. So when I click on this item, I'm going to want it to then take me to the condiments menu. And then I'm going to go to SKU lookup. I have a couple options. I don't have a hamburger in here, so I could either just click on add or fast add to create a hamburger item, or right from this screen I click add and create a hamburger. So we just need to assign an item number. It could be 1 2 3 4. In this case, I'll just make it HBRGR for hamburger, and the description is going to be 1/2 LB hamburger. I could just say the price that I want to charge for this hamburger, and let's say we're going to charge $7.99. I could put a cost in there if I knew what it cost, $2. It is taxable. I could select what department this is going to be in, so let's come down here and see. We'll put this in deli. I could create whatever departments I want. There's no auto deposit. I'm not concerned with who the vendor or that I get this from or the vendor item number. but I could put that information in there. Just click this drop down, select the vendor, and put that vendor's item number when I order this product. So now that I clicked on hamburger, you can see here it's put this hamburger up here that I just created. So I could just double click on this line to select it, or I can click select, or I could press enter. But now it just brought that hamburger SKU that we created and put it in here. The other thing I could do is I could say that I want this to go to, happens to be set up as the bar printer. Kitchen number 2 I happen to have set up as the kitchen printer, and printer number 3 is kitchen printer number 3. I'm going to select kitchen printer, so number 2, so that all my food prep will all go to kitchen printer number 2. I could have kitchen printer number 3 could be where I have my salad make line or a pizza make line. So we're going to select kitchen printer number 2. I could also put that this is a modifier to a hamburger or add-on modifier, and I'll review those when we get into the condiments. It shows down here my sell price for this item, what department it's in, and a description of the burger of the item I just selected, which is half-pound burger. So I'm going to go ahead and click update. Now here's how my hamburger button looks. I don't like the color that looks, so I can click on this. I can change my text color to something that jumps out a little more. Let's see how yellow looks on a purple background. So now when I was in the sales screen and I was to click on hamburger, it would take me to menu number 1. Menu number 1 is my condiments menu. I'm going to cancel this. Now I'm going to go to my condiments menu, and I'm going to just select button number 0 again, and this I can put in, I'll put in well done, and the type on this one is going to be a SKU, because when we select the hamburger it's going to come to this menu where we can select well done, medium, rare. I can also set up on this menu different condiments, or add ketchup, put pickles on the side. In this case we're just going to do well done. I'll put the text color black, and I'm going to create a SKU now for well done, because there has to be an item that's associated with the well done button that I select. So I'm just going to call it, how about W done. Well done is the description that's going to print on the order that goes to the kitchen printer. There's not going to be a price with it. There's not going to be any cost associated with it. And since there isn't, doesn't matter if it's taxable or not. And I could put this in, this if I wanted to keep track of sales for this kind of stuff. I could put this in deli. I could create a department that's called condiments, just so I could see what condiments we selected. But really that's all I needed to do, just assign an item number to it or a SKU, and the description well done, click OK. And it's going to ask me, do I want to continue without the price? I'll say yes, and without a department, yes. Now again, I have this well done item I just created up here, and I will just double click on that and it's going to pull it up here. And then I need to change the background color, and we'll call this red for well done. Okay, if we edit this well done button, the other thing we want to do with this well done button is we want to say that this is a modifier, because what that's going to do is going to modify the previous item that we selected, which is a hamburger. So this is going to, I don't need to select a kitchen printer, this is going to automatically follow the well done, the hamburger, to whatever kitchen printer that hamburger is going to. This modifier is going to follow it. The difference between a modifier and an add-on modifier, if I tell it this is an add-on modifier, it's not only going to follow it, but it would prompt the server to select whether they wanted to add it, minus it, or add it on the side. So for example, if this was a pickle, I could say add the pickle, I could say minus pickles, or I could say add the pickle on the side so it's not actually on the hamburger. And we'll come back to that when we do a couple items like that. So in this case, I wanted to tell it that it is a modifier. I'm not concerned about pricing, which kitchen printer, or anything else that I have, and I'll go ahead and update this button. Now I'm going to click on this button, and I'm going to copy it to button number 01, which is the one right next to it. And I'm going to click on it again. I'm going to copy it to button number 02, which is the button right next to that. And then I'm going to click on button number 1, and instead of well done, I'm going to make this medium. And now I need to add a SKU for medium. So I'm going to click add, and I'm going to just type in SKU in. MDM, and description is going to be medium. This is what will print in the kitchen printer. I'm not concerned with printing our cost or price, taxable or anything like that. Again, I go say continue without a price, continue without a department, and this pulled up mediums right here in my list. I can click on select. Now it shows MDM is the SKU we created. The description is medium. It is a modifier because I copied this already from the well done, which is already flagged as modifier, and just update that. Now we've created the medium button. I could do the same thing for a rare button, so we'll do the same thing here. We'll call this rare. We'll add a new item for the rare, and we'll just call it rare also, and the description is going to be rare. We don't need a cost or price. Click OK. Yes, no price. Yes, without a department. Here's my rare item I just created, and click select. Now it shows my SKU is rare, my description is rare, and I'm going to go ahead and update this. So now I've just created well done, medium, and rare. Let's come down here to button number 20, and I'm gonna put add pickles. This case it's going to be a SKU just like the other items were, and I can take whatever text color I want. We'll do with white, and the background color we want, we'll do green for pickles. And then I need to assign a SKU to add pickles. And I'm just going to put APICK. And this is going to say add pickles. Again, I don't need a cost in here unless I was going to charge a price for adding pickles on there. Continue without a price, yes. Without a department, yes. Here's my add pickles I just did, and I'm going to go ahead and select that. Shows my add pickles here, add pickles in the description, and update. There's my add pickles. So that's one way to do it. So now when I sell this hamburger, to come down here, I could click on I want it medium, I want to add pickles, or I could have another option, which I'll do here, and I'll just call it pickles. Again, the type is going to be a SKU. The text color, we can come down here and we'll put the same, we'll do white. And the SKU, we're going to add a new one, and I'll just call it PICK. It could be pickles spelled completely out, but just to make it quick. Pickles. Again, no price. Continue without a price. Continue without a department, yes. Here's the pickles we just added. I'm going to click select. It brought that pickles over here. Now on this one, it's going to be a, actually we should have marked the other one as modifier. This one's going to be an add-on modifier. Change my background color. We'll make that background color green again. And update this. So now I have just a pickles and I have an add pickles. Let's go back to the add pickles. I'm going to edit it, just make it a modifier. I can also edit this item while I'm right in here. And let's edit this item. So I'm going to click edit this SKU. And now here I'm going to say that we charge an extra $1 when we do add pickles. Okay. Taxable is prepared food. I could come over here to vendor department, other, assign a department. All the things I could do with a normal inventory item. But I just added a price. Now I can see that price. I could have also came down here and just edited the price right here and said the price is $1.50. I could also assign a department to it down here. So I can do a lot of things right here that I can do right from the other screen. So now this add pickles is going to be $1. I'm going to update. And then on this pickles button, which is a add-on modifier instead of regular modifier, I can say that this one is going to be, if I put $1 in here, and then update this, and I go back to it, I can see that that's there. If I edit the SKU, it did update that with the price that I put in here. And I will update this again. I'm going to create one more pickles. So I'm just going to take this button, and I'm going to copy this SKU or this button to button number 22. And on this pickles, just to show you how it works, I'm going to just label this pickles add price. And what I mean by that, I'm going to add the price to the modified item. So what this allowed me to do is, instead of selling the burger at whatever price we put in there, when I do pickles, instead of putting pickles as a separate line item price, the burger price will now become $1 more. All right, so let's go ahead and update this. I can go back to my main menu. Again, we have this hamburger here. So let's go over some of these things on this menu. So here I could click on print menus. I could print all these menus or just print a selected menu. I come down here and see what all my SKU filter options are. So for example, I could program a button so it just shows me everything that I have in the deli department. If I want to do that, I would program the code where it says the SKU number. I would put in the department code deli, comma DE, or the style code or the size code. For blank line, I could put a BL, which is a code for blank line. I'll review that for you in a minute, and whatever department code I want to go to. So it would automatically put that item, instead of just a generic blank line on my invoicing screen, it would put a blank line with a specific department. If I wanted to scan a single beer from a blister pack, I could do a 1 comma. So if I click on more here, there's more items I can do. I can program buttons for a certain percent, a certain cost plus percentage to be charged, a certain dollar amount. So there's many things here that I can program these different buttons for. That was the SKU filter options. Point of sale keyboard options, these are whether or not I want this keyboard to pop up on any of my menus. If I say never on, it won't pop up on any of them. On the main menu only, we have selected now, it'll only see it on my main menu. Or I could tell it that I want it to be on all menus. And the other item here we have is display the point of sale screen options. So this management reports menu button up here is programmed with this hotkey of MR for management reports. So this just allows me to see with the different codes that I have, so I can program it without having to exit out of here, go to this sales screen, see what those options are, and then come back in here and program the button. So I'll close this out, and now we're going to exit out of here. So now I'll go into the sales screen. Go to the sales screen, I put my initials in here, and we can see the hamburger button that we just programmed. Okay, so I'm going to select this hamburger that we created. It's going to show that half-pound hamburger, quantity 1 at $7.99. I'm going to say that it was medium. It's just going to show medium on here. This is what's going to print on my kitchen printer. And then I have 3 scenarios for pickles. We'll select this first, add pickles, which was just put in as a modifier at $1.50. So it's just going to say add pickles, $1.50. That was a regular modifier. The second pickles was a add-on modifier. So the difference is when I select this pickles, it's going to ask me if I want to add, minus, or add on the side. When I click add, it's going to add this pickles at $1. If I click it again and said minus, it's going to say minus pickles, but that didn't reduce the price at all. And if I click on this again and click add on the side, it will show add on the side pickles. So the difference between a modifier, which was this one, and a add-on modifier is the add-on modifier gives you those 3 options. And then this last one we did was pickles, where it automatically adds the price to the modified item. The modified item is the hamburger. So if I click on pickles, add price, and I'm going to say add pickles, down here it's going to say add pickles, quantity 1, no price here, but it increased the price of this hamburger from $7.99 to $8.99. That way they're not seeing that they're getting charged $1 just to have pickles on there, but the cost of the hamburger went up to $8.99. So I can click on go to the back to the main menu, and I'll just review a couple of buttons here that are default buttons we have set up. Management reports, as we talked about, is coded with, if I come down here to my options button, management reports is coded with MR. So I could come to the options, click on management reports. I could have typed in MR down here to get the management reports, or I could just click on this button that we programmed for management reports, so it lets me select these management reports. Again, all these can be password protected based on your security level. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and save this order. And I click on here, over here on save. It's going to ask me if I want to save that tab now. I could say save and send, which would send it to my kitchen printer. I could click save, send, and print, which would also send it to my kitchen printer, plus print a hard copy for myself. I could just cancel this. So let's say save and send, and it just printed that back to the kitchen printer, and then back here in the restaurant mode where I can select which table I'm waiting on now. I'm going to select this table, number 27, and it's going to pull it up here, and I can continue on with my order. So let's exit back out of here. So my recommendations, when you set these menu buttons up, get a couple of these buttons set up, go into the sales screen, test them, make sure that they're working the way that you want them to work. For example, when I click on hamburger, I know it's going to take me to menu number 1 and it's going to select the item hamburger. I could verify my menu number 1 is my condiments menu, which is, these are the options we have. Let's review a couple other options. We will go back to our main menu, and here we're going to click on this hamburger button, and I'm going to, now that this hamburger button is selected, I'm going to go to my condiments menu, and I'm going to say copy this button, which is the hamburger, and I'm going to copy it down here. Let's put it at button number 16. And that allowed me to copy this button that was already created on the main menu to another menu. So I can copy it to several menus. I can also use this to move items around. If I don't want this to be at button number 16, I want this to be over here at button number 7, I could copy it there. I could come back and then delete this button because I don't need it here anymore. So this allows you to move items around once you've got your menu set up and if you want to rearrange how they are without recreating each individual button. I'm going to click on this button. When I select the hamburger from the main menu, it's going to charge $7.99 for that. If for some reason I want to just select this hamburger button from the second menu, for example, if I had a 2-for-1 special, I'd select the main burger from the main menu, come down here and select whether I want well done, add pickles, add onions, whatever options I have. And then I could say when I select my second burger from this menu, that there's no charge for it. So I'm getting 2 burgers for $7.99. The first item I select from the main menu is going to charge $7.99. I select my condiments, and then when I select my second burger from this menu, it's not going to charge me for this burger. It'll put it on here, and then I can select my condiments to follow that burger. So we will put this on here. We'll come back and review how that works on the sales screen. Let me go ahead and update this. Okay, so the other option I want to review, if just use this well done as an example, if this is a modifier or add-on modifier, the other thing I can do is remove additional quantities from stock. So for example, if I'm keeping track of my liquor and every time I select a mixed drink, it subtracts 1 shot from inventory, but if I'm selecting it as a on the rocks, where it's actually using additional liquor, when I select the on the rocks item, I could have this take out an additional 2/3 of a shot because I'm giving a shot in 2/3 when I tell it's on the rock. The other thing I might want to do if this was a on the rocks item, it would be a modifier. I would tell it I want to add the price of this modifier to the on the rocks, and then I would tell it that the price is an extra $1.50 or $2 or whatever I want to charge. But this allows me to keep accurate inventory control by removing 1 shot for a regular drink, and when I put it on the rocks or I make it neat, it'll remove an additional portion of a full shot so that I have an accurate inventory level. I'm going to go ahead and cancel this button, and we can go back to our main menu. And we're going to exit out of here and just show how that hamburger that we just set up at no price works. Put in my ID here. So I'm going to select my first hamburger, which is from the main menu, $7.99. I'm going to tell it I want it medium. I'm going to say add pickles on the side. It increased the price to $8.99 because I added pickles. I'm getting my second hamburger for free. There's no price for that second hamburger. I want this one well done. But this one I'm going to add pickles to this item. When I do say add pickles, it's going to add $1 to the price of this hamburger right here because pickles is an additional charge. And then I can save this, print it, send it to the kitchen printer, all the things I can normally do. Exit out of here. That's pretty much a quick overview of setting up menu buttons. Gives you an overview to get started so you can see how those are done. Be sure to come and visit us again for additional training videos. Now going to review a few new features with the latest edition of the point of sale management system. Down here you can see now we can drag a button, drag and drop to move a button or copy a button. And it tells you right here to drag a button, right click, then left click and hold, drag to a button number and release. So let's just show you how it's going to work. I'm going to right click on the hamburger button, then I'm going to left click and hold, and you can see I can it's showing me where I can drag this button to. If I wanted to put it on button number 1, I would click on, carry it over to button number 1, release. That's going to ask me if I want to copy it there, move it there, or cancel. Copying would leave a hamburger on button number 0 and button 1. Move it would move it from 0 to 1, and cancel would just cancel this move operation. So I'm going to go ahead and say move. Now I can see that it's here. If I right click this again, now left click and hold, whereas here if I wanted to move it to button 0, I have to copy over button 0, because if I copy up here it's going to show me I can't move it up here because this button's hidden. But if I wanted to copy it over the condiments menu, I can move anywhere on the condiments menu because it's not hidden, and then I can say copy or move or cancel. I'll go ahead and copy it right onto this one. It's telling me it's going to delete this existing button. Yes, I'll go ahead and do that. So now I have 2 hamburger buttons, and then I can click on this one and just delete it. The other thing I want to do is review a couple of these cash tendered, EBT tendered, and credit card tenders, which are new features. In this cash tendered button, when I'm on the sales screen, and if the transaction was $7.50 and somebody gave me the exact change, I could just hit this cash tendered button and it would complete the transaction without having to click on total, select my payment method, and then click OK to complete it up. So it just makes it much quicker. If they gave me $8, I could just type in 800 cash tendered and would cash it out as if $8 tendered and show me the change and complete the transaction. EBT tendered button works the exact same way. I can select EBT. If I take EBT, it'll automatically select EBT as the payment method and complete the transaction. Likewise with credit card tendered, I can just hit the credit card tendered button. It'll automatically complete the transaction through the credit card, whether it's manual with a separate machine or if you're processing credit cards directly through the point of sale system. So I'm going to go down here also to the SKU filter options, and I'm going to click more here, and this will show me right down here at the button for the button to total the transaction with cash tendered from the on-screen keyboard. I just enter a $sign in the SKU field. If I click more, if I wanted to program a button for $10 cash tendered, I just put $10 in the SKU field. Credit cards, this is credit cards tendered. I enter CRC for credit card in the SKU field. And if I wanted the button to be EBT tendered, I could enter EBT or EBTC, which is EBT cash, for cash in this, also in the SKU field. So let me close this, click on this cash tendered. You can see here the caption is cash tendered, the type is SKU, text color is white, the SKU is $sign, which is what we just reviewed in the SKU filter options. The back color is green, and I've told it that this button is double wide. So now I can also have buttons that are double wide, double high, or double wide and double high. And now also, if I click the EBT tender button, it's going to ask me if I want to update this key number 32, which I currently have on the screen. I can say yes to update it, to update any changes I made to it. I can say no, don't update it, and just pull up the new button I selected, or I can just cancel this selection altogether. So I'm going to click EBT tendered again. I'm going to say yes, go ahead and update that button, and now I can see here's the caption EBT tendered. The type is a SKU, text color is white, the SKU is EBT, background color is green, and this is also a double wide button. So I can, since I'm not making any changes, I can either update or cancel. There's no changes to be made there. Just wanted to review these few new features that are available in the latest edition of the point of sale management system.